Probably stop staring before it gets creepy, though.
Too late. You guys are losers.
But then why do you sit with us?
Because I don't have any friends.
Really? Right before nationals?
He already quit marching band and robotics lab. I'm not obsessed with him, just very observant.
Tom Holland and Zendaya have been a known duo for years, starring together in the Spider-Man franchise as of the last few years in Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. And with the new Spider-Man No Way Home coming out December of this year, we wanted to take a look back at Tom Holland and Zendaya, and given that these actors were so young and still are, it's nice to look at the chemistry between these two and how their acting abilities improved over the years. First, we wanted to take a deep dive into how Tom and Zendaya were casted for these roles. Starting with Tom Holland, he knew Chris Hemsworth from a film they worked together on called In the Heart of the Sea. In June 2019, the Thor Ragnarok star said he did what he could to help Holland nab the Spider-Man role. As they were casting him for Spider-Man, I did what I could do and made a call and said he was one of the most talented people I've worked with and has such a big heart and appreciation. Civil War directors Anthony Russo and Joe Russo and Chris Evans also said that Holland had the edge because of his prior experience as a gymnast. In the script, Spider-Man flipped in a scene and Holland offered to do that during an audition. On June 23, 2015, Holland was announced as the new Spider-Man.
It was crazy. It was a pretty daunting process. I went through a phase of just doing self-tapes after self-tapes after self-tapes. I guess when you can do what I can do, maybe you have a responsibility to do some good with it.
Then we met about 200 boys, and there were so many of them that were so good. But Tom was different than everyone else.
Okay then.
For the Spider-Man franchise referring to the previous Spider-Man movies, it was known to have Mary Jane or MJ as the love interest. With this next reboot of Spider-Man, Zendaya was casted to be a mysterious character named Michelle. Now, Zendaya was known very largely in the film industry prior, having been known as a Disney star, so casting her as Michelle was a no-brainer. What was funny was when she went in for the audition, she didn't even know what the part was for due to secrecy of the movie. We weren't supposed to know what the script pages that we were reading were for Spider-Man, but I did find out that it was for Spider-Man because I have good agents. But I didn't know what role I was auditioning for. I just thought it was girl in Spider-Man movie. I didn't really know what character or what kind of character they would be. Right before the screen test, they were kind of saying, okay, these are characters that we're reading for, MJ being one of them, and I was like, oh, that would be cool.
Sarah Finn came to us and was like, this young lady Zendaya, who you've probably heard of because she's all over the world right now, turned in just a fantastic audition.
So, no, I'm not nervous.
She came in and they cast her before she even left the room. I remember when she left, everyone was like, yeah, she's Michelle.
No, I'm good.
She is a sort of dorky, closed-off character.
Can't believe you guys are at this lame party.
You're here too.
Am I?
Next up, we can see Tom Holland talks about what it was like working with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans.
What has it been like for you taking on this beloved role and bringing it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the first time?
At first, it was pretty terrifying, but as you all probably know, Marvel they're a powerhouse, you know, and they have the best in the business in every aspect of the film, and I was always in such good hands and working with Robert very closely and Chris.
There was also this moment of Tom recollecting on his performance on Spider-Man Homecoming with Robert Downey Jr.
But yeah, so walking into the screening, I was like, this is going to be awful, I'm going to hate it, and leaving, I was over the moon.
You were? Great. Okay.
Yeah, I loved it.
So you're not overly critical of yourself and your performance and all that stuff?
I loved it.
Robert, you have not seen it yet?
I personally yet to see it. When can I...
You will see it when I'm ready for you to see it. Just take a minute.
The new blood, get used to it.
We can also look at when Tom Holland was interviewed being asked of how he was casted and how he found out, which in the beginning he thought Marvel actually got hacked.
First things first, what comes through your mind when you get the call that you got the part in the jumping up and down section?
First, I didn't get a call.
Yeah.
I found out on Instagram. They just posted it one day.
And never told you?
Never told me. But no, it was a day. It was amazing. I've been working so hard to get this movie. I've been training and auditioning for close to 6 months.
In this next one, Tom talks about his version of Spider-Man being the first one being placed entirely in a high school setting.
This is the first superhero movie to take place entirely in high school. It's fresh in so many ways in the sense that the character is younger, he's 15 years old, you really get to see him enjoy his superpowers. It's a very diverse cast, which is something we haven't seen in many superhero movies and something I'm very proud of and something I'm very excited to share with the world. He is in the MCU. He exists in a world where there are other superheroes, and that's something we've never seen in a Spider-Man movie before.
Switching over to Zendaya, during an interview she talks about what Spider-Man Homecoming was all about.
Spider-Man means so much to so many people around the world. I think, it's exciting to have this new, refreshing, take on who he is, because we have seen him be Spider-Man a million times, but we never really get to dig more into who Peter Parker is, and I think that that's what this, film really shows, is the human being behind the suit, which is a 15-year-old kid, from New York, who's just trying to figure it out and do the right thing.
This next interview with Jimmy Fallon shows Zendaya explaining what it was like playing this mysterious kind of character in the movie.
And I didn't actually even know what kind of character, because my character is very interesting. She's, kind of like a loner. She's super intellectual, very dry humor, one-liners, pops in, pops out. And I didn't even know what kind of character I was gonna play till I got there and got to sign a non-disclosure and then read the script.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and then you get the script.
And then you get the script. And then
You're
I found
really
out.
funny.
And I was like, wow.
You got some great one-liners in this movie.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's
Thank
great.
you.
Zendaya goes on to talk about her and Tom's relationship when it first started being cast as Michelle in her first movie role.
With Tom, I think doing lip sync battle and and stuff like that, we're always paired together, so we have just become really, really close. And he's so great. He's a great person, and it's nice to know that the superhero is also a good person. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Jumping into the present time, Tom Holland is questioned about an Instagram photo he posted while filming for Spider-Man No Way Home, trying his best not to give away any spoilers, as usual.
Well, I do have one question. You put on Instagram recently that you had a day that you considered one of the highlights of your career. Will we know it when we see it on screen that day, or was that a very personal thing, or can you allude to what that was without spoiling anything for me?
You'll know it. When you see the film, you'll know it.
Okay.
I can't talk about it. I want to. I really want to, Josh.
I know you do.
Me.
Don't, I don't want you to. I do, but I don't. Don't worry.
In another interview, Tom also tries not to give anything away when being asked if he can give anything in regards to the new film, and he gives a pretty simplistic and funny answer.
The suit is really tight. Sticky white webs come out of my wrist. There's a bad guy, and I have to fight him.
Zendaya actually spoke with E! News about her last days of filming for No Way Home, and just how close the cast have gotten over filming these 3 films, started filming when she was just 19 years old.
I don't know, it was so much fun. It was kind of bittersweet. We don't know if we're gonna do another one. Is it just gonna be 3 and done? Kind of normally you do 3 movies and that's pretty much it. So I think we just were all absorbing and taking the time to just enjoy the moment, being with each other, and being so grateful for that experience, because we've been doing it since I was I did the first movie, I was 19. It's pretty special to have grown up.
Even with all the eagerness from the new movie, the reason we're not hearing much about the film as of yet is not only because there is no trailer, but from their marketing strategy. They're too busy promoting other films like Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and the Eternals. However, Marvel actually doesn't have full control over the marketing for the 3rd Spider-Man movie. That would be in Sony's hands. Now, with the film having so much excitement over even seeing the trailer at this point, is all the rumors surrounding the film regarding the cast and plot. According to Spider-Man's No Way Home Wikipedia page, the film is confirmed to have Tom Holland, Zendaya, J.B. Smoove, Jacob Batalon, Marissa Tomei, Jamie Foxx, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Alfred Molina. One of the previous Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, actually responded to these rumors during an interview.
I feel like I'm in a game of werewolf, and I'm just saying I'm not the werewolf. I am not the werewolf. I promise you guys, I am not the werewolf. So yeah, listen, what people are talking about is a really cool idea, and again, I haven't received a phone call, but I haven't had need to think about it, so it's not something that I've really considered.
Sadly, we haven't seen any official leaks, especially from Tom Holland, but it seems like Marvel is really cracking down on what he does when in an interview and what he posts online. What we do know for sure is Doctor Strange will be reprising his role in this movie. We have actually seen a photo of him on set confirming this. With that being said, the cast rumors along with Doctor Strange's appearance have given the Spidey multiverse theory some weight. When teamed up with the game-changing finale of Loki on Disney+, it is easy to see how the multiverse is likely not to impact Spider-Man No Way Home, but the rest of the MCU's projects moving forward. Garfield's Peter Parkers have been rumored all year ever since Collider reported that Garfield would be returning to his role as Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home. Industry insiders also commented that Maguire would be back, and when Feige announced that Doctor Strange would feature, that was the spark that ignited the rumor mill for the continuation and craziness of the Spider-Man franchise. but we wanted to ask you guys, how much do you think, or have you seen, Zendaya and Tom Holland have changed over the years?